Today we're going to be talking about the basics of Google Docs. Now, Google Docs is very similar to a Word or any other word processing software you might have used in the past. So there's a few ways we can open up Google Docs. We can go to docs.google.com, or you can go into your Drive and click New and Google Docs. You can create it from a template or a blank file. I'm just going to create a blank file here. It's going to look very similar to every other word processing service you might have used, but it's a very powerful tool that's free with our Google suite that we have, and you can use it on pretty much any operating system, whether you have a iPhone or an Android phone or your Chromebooks or your PCs, wherever you want to use it. As long as you can access Chrome, you can access Google Docs. So one of the things you might see right off the bat here is this outline feature. Now, I may just show you this little box here, depending on what you've used in the past, but the outline feature is a really cool tool. And I'm going to show you how to use that to organize your work and to create kind of a table of contents. So when you're using this, it's just like any other word processor. You can create your fonts, you can change your size, and I'm going to show you all these up in here. So let's just call this Fun with Google Docs. Now, if I want to center this, just like you would for any other word processing, you can go to Format, and you can go into your alignment and lines of space in here, or you can use the shortcuts up here. You can click on Center Align to center everything, just like you would with any other word processor. Now, I don't want this to be just general text. This is not a manuscript that I'm writing. I'm going to actually use this as a form I want to show you. So I'm actually going to change the style as text. And we have this style button here. So I'm going to go ahead and click style, and I'm going to change this to my title. And I'm going to apply that here. And so this will automatically change my what I just wrote into a title for my piece here. Now, when I click back on my outline here, I can see that this is now the outline, the title of my outline here. I can click up here to name my document. It's automatically going to be called Fun with Google Docs with what I titled it. And as well as you'll see that it's in the training folder that I've already created. And that was just because I created it while I was in that training folder in Google Drive. So let's move on here. So I'm going to go on to the next line here, and it's going to go back to normal text. But what if I want like a table of contents here? So let's do our heading. So heading 1, table of contents. And underneath that, I want to have a, we can maybe do a heading 2. We'll do using Google Docs, changing, already changed back to normal text. If I want another heading 2, I'll just put that, changing fonts. And you'll see that this comes into my outline right away. So if I'm making a term paper, some sort of paper that has multiple sections, this is a really easy tool to use. And I can even go in between my different areas just by clicking on the outline here. So if I have a multi-page paper, I can click on the outline and automatically get to where I want it to go. So before I show you a little bit more of that, I want to just go through some of the tools that you can have here in Google Docs. So this is how to use Google Docs. Now, it's just normal text, so it's not going to show up in my outline. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to highlight this, and we're going to see changing fonts. You know, you can change the fonts to whatever you'd like, just like you would in Word. Let's go with Roboto Mono. It's an easy one to see. You can change the size right here. Let's change 30 so you can see it. Let's make it, keep it all in one line, 24 here. We can bold, italicize, underline, change the text color. We can highlight the background of the text. I can even just clear the formatting here. And this if I right click, or I can click this button here. So let's clear the formatting. This will bring everything back to its standard style. I'm going to keep it at Roboto and 24 for now. Now I showed you this before. We can center, we can right align, we can left align, we can, if we are doing block quote, we can do the justify button here. Let's keep it left. I can create a list. Standard 1A, B, Roman numerals, excuse me. You can change to parentheses, 1.1, 1.2, any of these styles is there. You just click on it and you're good to go. Click the next one, tab in, you'll see the next, and it works just like that. This here is your line spacing. I know the standard line spacing changes every year, it seems, with all of the MLA styles and things like that. It automatically defaults to a certain line spacing depending on where you are at in your text. But you can change it to double spacing if that's what you prefer, or just keep it at the 1.15. You can also add spaces before or after paragraphs. You can do custom spacing. You can keep lines together, prevent single lines, all that kind of stuff. That is when you get to the end of a page. You can make sure that you don't have just a single line in a paragraph. It will automatically push that to the next page, just so it looks a little bit neater. You have bullets here, and we have multiple bullet styles. This is your indent. So if I wanted to indent, you're going to have your normal tab indent, but I can also indent a little bit further the whole thing, or indent back. This is especially useful when you're using those bullets. If I have that bullet and I say, you know what, I want to move it in a little bit more, move it out, or if I'm going to the next bullet and I want this one out a little bit further, or you made a mistake and you want to push it back to the beginning, that works too. That's what these are for. And again, you can clear the formatting with that. So let's undo this here. And okay, so we are back to where we were here. Now, we have a couple of other options here. We have a link. So if I wanted to create a hyperlink here, I just highlight the area that I want. I click this button or hit Control K, and then I can paste what I want. Now, it automatically guesses what you want to link to based on what you have, what you've highlighted. So if I want them to go to Google Docs, I can go right here and I can click Google Docs and it will automatically create a hyperlink, or I can paste in my own hyperlink here. So I'm going to make that a hyperlink. I'm going to apply that here. And now when I am on this page, if I click on this, I can click right here and it will take me to that web page. We can comment here. Now this comment is the same thing that you might do with a student who has submitted a paper to you. You click comment here and you can actually comment on the word. Make sure you use the correct to. And I did use the correct to, I realized that, but you can add those kind of comments and then it's right there. So as they're reading through the paper, you'll see that these comments are right in there. When the student sees this, if you submit this back to the student, they can click resolve and that will show that they've finished that comment, they finished using that comment, and it won't pop up on their page anymore. We can insert pictures or videos. Let's go ahead here and we can insert from our Drive or from our Google Photos or from the camera that's on our Chromebooks or whatever. Let's search for, and just like in Google Slides, everything you search for will be copyright free according to the person who posted it. Now, that might not be true, but if they posted a picture that they had already taken, it may show that it's not copyrighted when it really is. So just be careful with that. But let's look for puppies. All right, so we have a I like this one here. Let's insert that. And we're right in here. So now we have a picture of a puppy inserted into our document. Now, if I click on this, just like in slides, it will change my options here. So now I can make sure that my text is in the correct spot here. So if I want this blocked around, I can move this, and now it can slide where I want it. Right now it is wrapping around my picture. I can break the text here, so now it just breaks it around it. And because I don't have any new lines, it's just going to pop it around. Or you can just keep it the way it normally is, and this just kind of keeps it blocked, and the text is in line with the text. So I would just go underneath here if I wanted to keep writing. So however you want to do it is fine. You can also obviously adjust the picture. You can rotate it just like you would in any other Google Slides or anything like that. You can change all of your line spacing things here to make it look right. You can change the border of the picture. I can give it a nice pink border if I wanted to. I can give it no border. I can change the border size. And if do a dotted line, if you wanted to create something that the kids will cut out in elementary or whatever, you can do that right from this. You just put the picture here, and then make sure you have dotted lines around it, and just tell them to cut out there. You can also crop the image just by clicking this crop button, and then you just bring it to the size you want, and hit enter, and there you go. It's nice and cropped, and it's the size that I want it. I can reset the image to where it was, and I have other image options here, including transparency if I want to put the text behind it. I can make it brighter. However you want to do it, you have all those options right there. So those are some brief uses of Google Docs. There's other things here, like we can show the different layouts. This is print layout, shows the different pages here. You can change what mode you're viewing in, if you want to just put suggestions, or just view only, or the edit. It's right there. You can show toolbars like writing equations and section breaks. There's other options in here that you can play around with. Those are the easiest ones to deal with. There's also accessibility functions like select to speak and text to speech and things like that, and spelling corrections and all things that you might need and your students might need. Now I want to show you a really quick example of this outline that I've done. This is a paper that I wrote when I visited Northampton. I have an entire list of contents that I used here, and everything is completely connected. And if I want to move to a different section, I just click on that section, and it puts right to where I want. So this is my useful apps area. I have a full, if I click on this, it brings me right down to my useful apps section. I just made a hyperlink that attached to a section of my outline. There's all kinds of different uses for this, but this is mostly if you're writing a term paper or a white page or something for your own collegiate or further education classes, might be a useful tool for you. But it's here. If you have any questions about anything on Google Docs, please don't hesitate to contact me, let me know, and I hope you can use this to great effect in your classroom.